तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रस्ताय भूतले श्रीमते श्री नामने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रस्ताय भूतले श्रीमते शिला भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देव्या गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य तारिणे मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्. So now we'll offer prayers to Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesha Vutresho Tityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanacha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Nama Pangajanapaya Nama Pangajamaline Nama Pangajanetraya Namaste Pangajankriye. So Hare Krishna. So welcome to today's morning Bhagavatam class. We are reading 2:10:43. So let me just share screen. Annihilation by Lord Shiva. Then I went to share screen, and I have. I should focus on that one first. There it is, 10:43. Okay. Then I go here, share screen. Oh my God, into something else. So wow, here it is. Okay. So share screen. Okay. So we are in good. Okay, so let's read the text first. Canto 2, text 10. Chapter 10, text 43. Tada kalagnirudraatma yat srishtamida idamatmanaha samniyachati tatkale khananikamivānila. Tada kalagnirudraatma yat srishtamida idamatmanaha samniyachati tatkale khananikamivānila. Translation. So let's read word to word meaning. Tata, thereafter, at the end. Kala, destruction. Agni, fire. Rudra, Atma, in the form of Rudra. Yat, whatever. Srishtam, created. Idam, all these. Atmanaha, of his own. Some, completely. Niyachati, annihilates. Tatkale, at the end of the millennium. Khana Anikam, that is bunches of clouds. Iva, like that of Anila, air. So, translation and purport by Stephen Geshe-la Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thereafter, at the end of the millennium, the Lord himself in the form of Rudra, the destroyer, will annihilate the complete creation as the wind displaces the clouds. Purport by Stephen Geshe-la Prabhupada Ki Jai. This creation is very appropriately compared to clouds. Clouds are created or situated in the sky, and when they are displaced, they remain in the sky without manifestation. Similarly, the whole creation is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his form of Brahma. It is maintained by him in the form of Vishnu, and it is destroyed by him in the form of Rudra or Shiva, all in due course. This creation, maintenance, and destruction are nicely explained in the Bhagavad Gita 8.19 to 20 as follows. Bhutagramasa evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate Ratriyagame vacha partha prabhavati aharagame parastasmatu bhavo ajnyo vyakto avyakto vektat sanatanaha yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinasyati. The nature of the material world is that it is first created very nicely, then it develops very nicely and stays for a great number of years, even beyond the calculation of the greatest mathematician. But after that, it is again destroyed during the night of Brahma without any resistance. And at the end of the night of Brahma, it is again manifested as a creation to follow the same principles of maintenance and destruction. The foolish conditioned soul who has taken this temporary world as a permanent settlement has to learn intelligently why such creation and destruction take place. The fruitive actors in the material world are very enthusiastic in the creation of big enterprises, big houses, big empires, big industries, and so many big things out of the energy and ingredients supplied by the material agent of the Supreme Lord. With such resources and at the cost of valuable energy, the conditioned soul creates, satisfies his whims, but unwillingly has to depart from all his creations and enter into another phase of life to create again and again. To give hope to such foolish conditioned souls who waste their energy in this temporary material world, the Lord gives information that there is another nature which is eternally existent without being occasionally created or destroyed, and that the conditioned soul can understand what he should do and how his valuable energy may be utilized. Instead of wasting his energy in matter, which is sure to be destroyed in due course by supreme will, the conditioned soul should utilize his energy in the devotional service of the Lord so that he can be transferred to the other eternal nature where there is no birth, no death, no creation, no destruction, but permanent life instead, full of knowledge and unlimited bliss. The temporary creation is thus exhibited and destroyed just to give information to the conditioned soul who is attached to temporary things. It is also meant to give him a chance for self-realization and not for sense gratification, which is the prime aim of all fruitive actors. Just a second. Oh, yes. Let me put in the power for the. Okay. Hare Krishna. So, in this chapter, we are coming towards the end of it. These are the last few verses, and we are in the last act of Lord, destruction. We covered so much in this chapter. Beginning with, in the beginning, the 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam was described, and then how the creation happened, and the details of it, how the Virat Purusha, and how the Virat Purusha manifested, and how the living entity was manifested in a corresponding way, and how his we were it was illustrated the relationship between the controlled and the controller in the creation, how that happened. And then we also talked about the maintainer, Lord Vishnu, appearing in each and every universe, and how in his several incarnations, he is attracting the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead in his various incarnations. Now, and it was described in detail how many types of species are generated, because under the influence of the modes of nature. And the modes are again not in not just three, because they are contaminated, but they are a mixture. Nobody is in pure goodness or pure passion or pure ignorance. So there are permutations and combinations, and there are so many species that evolve from the Mahatattva. So here, finally, we are talking about the final act. That is, it has been created, and the manifest world has been created by the Lord as Lord in his incarnation Guna Avatara as Brahma, Lord Brahma. Then it has been maintained for a considerable length of time as in his form as Lord Vishnu, who is representing the mode of goodness, and then as Lord Rudra or Shiva, everything is destroyed at the end of the time, when the time comes. And so here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that it is said that at the end of the millennium, Lord Shiva destroys the complete creation as the wind displaces the clouds. So we see that clouds manifesting, especially in Naperville. We have not seen the sun for past 10 days. I think today it seems like he is coming out. So there is clouds always in the sky, and then these clouds are blown about by strong winds. We are very familiar with this one, because there is this hurricanes. They form in the ocean, and they make their landfall in the on the shore and destroy, and so many millions of people have to be evacuated, and because of the power of the rains that are unleashed. So the power of the wind to push the clouds, that is really, we see the meteorologist is tracking the tracking the storm that is in the middle of the ocean, and then he will predict exactly when the landfall will happen, everything. So similarly, this and the whole creation is considered to be clouds, and they are dispersed by the powerful winds, and we no longer see the clouds. Sometimes we might think, oh, it's so dark in the sky, we might get rain imminently, but then strong winds come and the clouds are taken away. There will be no rain at all. So we are this is very day-to-day experience for us. And similarly, in the act of dissolution, Everything is destroyed. The manifest creation, and annihilation happens in many time intervals, which are described very much in detail in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 4. So here we are looking at, we are referred to verses 19 and 20 of 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Lord is describing to Arjuna how this manifest universe is not at all a permanent thing, though it might appear like that. So the material nature creates everything. Then it develops very nicely, because Lord says, Mayatyachena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Under his supervision, material nature manifests everything very nicely, and then stays for a great number of years, and it develops nicely. And then this time for which nature manifests, it's so long that we humans think, oh, it's always there. It has been there from my grandfather's time, great grandfather's time. It will be there for my great grandchildren, and so everything is there permanently. That is the calculation. But then the dissolution comes, and then during the night of Brahma, without any resistance, at the end of the night of Brahma, it is again manifested as a creation to follow the same principles of maintenance and destruction. So during the day of Brahma, which is 1000 yuga cycles, or one kalpa, the whole manifestation seems to be in good maintenance, and everything seems to be thriving. But when Brahma goes to sleep, the whole thing is taken down. That is, then next morning, he will again wake up and start his business of creation. This is going on for 100 years of Lord Brahma's lifetime, and during the night of his during his sleep, the three the three material universes only are destroyed. But when at the end of Brahma's life, the whole manifestation is taken down. And not only even the Brahma Loka is destroyed actually. So Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, the foolish conditioned soul who has taken this temporary world as a permanent settlement has to learn intelligently why such creation and destruction take place. The fruitive actors in the material world are very enthusiastic in the creation of big enterprises. We have seen the building of the skyscrapers. There is a competition. Which one should be the tallest? It should be the one in our own town. Chicago was the tallest for a while. Then they created one in Dubai, I think, and then so that competition goes on. And then big enterprises. Yes. So we have seen how the businesses and the industries, they have so much emphasis in a modern day life. Without nuclear power, we cannot even live. And China is going to create an artificial sun, etc., etc. So this is our foolish involvement with the material nature, that is in trying to make our existence here perfect, comfortable, and going on thinking that our lifetime, we will have lifetime after lifetime to perfect our existence in this material world. Nothing beyond this. But that those who are enlightened by the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we know that we are simply a traveler. That is, and then we can go from hell to heaven through to the Vaikuntha planets. That is Brahmanda Pramde Kona Bhagavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Bhakti Lata Bija Paya. That is what Lord Chaitanya says. I mean, you don't want to go to this in the planets of heavens also, which are temporary, for enjoyment, seeking enjoyment, and then you don't want to go to hellish planets and suffer there. Having got this human form of life and the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we can go to our eternal home, back to Godhead. And there is no more creation. There's nothing of these activities of the potencies of the Lord, creation, maintenance, and destruction. After all, only for those souls who are seeking enjoyment away from Krishna, that is, separately from Krishna, this material prison house of material desires is created. As Maharaj was saying in the weekend, nobody wants to go from a third class prison house to a first class prison house. Might as well totally walk free from the prison house. That is, we have to simply surrender unto the Supreme Lord. And one who is surrendered and who is seeking the mercy of the Lord, permanently seeking his shelter, who has taken shelter of his lotus feet. This this is not a this material world is not a bewildering issue, because if we see around us, who is the actual maintainer? Is it our government? No, the government is plundering the people. The government is not able to handle the wicked populace anymore. So we can see whatever we thought of nobility and aristocracy, all that has come to pass in this Kali Yuga. There is only this that is a cutthroat materialism that we are seeing in the fields of politics and government and businesses and everything. So only those who are very fortunate come into contact with the spiritual master and the teachings of the Vedic scriptures and are eligible to go home. So this it is said that Lord creates, maintains, and destroys, just like a child playing on the beach might build his sand castle very carefully and taking time, everything. But when it's time to go home with his mother, he will just give a kick and bring it down. Similarly, the whole thing can vanish. And we have experienced the partial annihilations. I mean, small annihilation is happening in our own time. There has been very big tsunami, very big earthquakes, wildfires, whatnot. So we have seen distress, millions of living entities in distress, even by this hurricanes and snowstorms and wildfires. There are so many people are displaced from their comforts of their homes. They die. So this this material world is not there is not there is the so-called happiness is simply an illusory thing, and then we have to take shelter of the Supreme Lord and go back to Godhead. So that is the teachings of this this particular verse. It's very simple compared to the previous ones that we have gone through in very detail. So thank you very much for being here. And sorry if I have misspoken anything out of my ignorance. And let's we have 2-3 minutes. Any questions or comments? I would appreciate. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maheshwar Prabhupada. I was thinking it's just like a seamless continuation from last night's class. And in the Nipriya Mataji, she spoke on the same topic, how that
Yeah,
happened.
yes, yes, I
So
listened to
for me, it was just so beautiful and seamless connection. And, I'm appreciating how, as you're saying, Krishna is giving us an opportunity and special master, Srimad Bhagavatam in that form. You want to go there, you want to go to first canto, you want to go to, whichever canto you are in. It's so beautifully coming message. Second canto, 10th canto, and over the weekend, as we are hearing, that message is going a little more deeper. So I'm really appreciate. Thank you, Mataji, for so beautiful.
Thank you for taking me there. Thank you very much. Yes. So the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yesterday Anjali Priya Mataji was focusing on Queen Kunti's prayers, and the process of Harinam Sankirtan, taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for this age. All this education, of course, we have been having a very very successful program of book distribution and education. Sun planet.
Mataji, you're breaking up. I don't know if it's just for me or for others also. Yeah, it's breaking for me as well, Mataji. Yeah.
Becomes very very wild heat, and it brings up the water from all the oceans and don't give back any rains, and then the fire emanating from Lord Sankarshana's mouth scorches the entire planet. So it is likened to a cow dung patty being burned in the fire. The whole planet, the whole universe, and everything falls into the. And then there will be 100 years of 36,000 years of rain, I've heard, and everything will go under the waters of dissolution. So it's very graphically described in the 12th canto, this process of dissolution. It's very scary indeed. That all that we know about the earth. So that we can conclude the class, Prabhu, Lakshmikant Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Actually, we missed 41 and 42 verses yesterday and day before yesterday. So we planned that.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah. So I forgot to tell you also.
Oh.
So we'll do that, Mataji. So we'll ask maybe tomorrow or day after. We'll request the devotees.
Oh,
They can just
I'm
read
sorry,
them.
I
No,
forgot
not
about
your
that.
fault. So it's my thing.
Oh,
So I will just stop
okay.
this